We don't need anyone else's anything right now.
If you're getting this, something's happened to me. Got mixed up in some shady business on Gorgon. Should have known better. But I landed on something big. And now this job's an itch I can't stop scratching. There's a whole research compound up to the sprats. I think I'm close to figuring out why. But something dangerous is closer to me. Got the job through one Minnie Ambrose. Top runger who just came into some money. Was offering a hefty bid card for qualified help. Trust me, her money's good. Talk to Minnie. Take the job. If I ain't gonna live to see the payday, might as well be you. Consider us even, old pal.
Okay, so with the context we have now, the Sprat-ridden facility is going to be the one that's locked up because it's housing Marauders and it's housing the Journal, right? Seems the most natural conclusion to take away from that. Take out the same party members again, though. It's so great today that my town stinks. Really? What? Like, what phenomenon makes a whole town just smell awful?
Don't it make you feel small in the best way?
Blade Dancer was the first idea. Reserve enhance with Patience 1 when played. Gain Sap 2 and Multi-Strike 1 per Patience. And then on Resolve, enhance with +2/+0. There's one of yours that has Resolve enhance per Patience, which was really interesting to me. Are you going to have any mechanics? Oh, actually, I'm now just turning this into a Monster Train stream. Are you going to have any mechanics for, like, permafrosting a minion in some way? I know you had, like, a couple retained mechanics in there. Or frozen mechanics, rather. Although, most of the... Wow, that was just a bunch of warning shots there. Champion has that? Okay, cool. Yeah, it does. I think that was the shop upgrade. I may not have read that part yet, then.
Hey again. What can I get you?
Okay, you haven't got anything to say to me. That's fine. Okay, let's go back to the office and actually just get the unlock immediately, right? Just so that I don't have to worry about it later. Let's see, lower exterior. Pardon, shopkeeper, your beard took a moment to arrive there. Yeah, it was just a beard on delay. They had to quickly grow it. They knew that I knew them as a person with a beard, so as soon as they saw me lock eyes, they had to start focusing on getting the follicles to protrude. And well done, they managed to do it quite quickly. We change our body kit as soon as we get into this room. Oh. Here we are. I just want to see the deleted message. I think this is going to give us a little bit more context about the world. We have to be one short right now, right? Yeah, we're exactly one short. Okay, so just pop a brain drug. Anything that's caffeinated ought to do it. There we go. Okay, the first two messages from Ambrose. Return to lead. Sorry, this one. Production schedule to Goodfellow L. I've seen the brand manager sniffing around, Lawrence. I know your department is gearing up for a big announcement, and mine is the only project on the fucking asteroid. Send me your intended production and release schedule immediately. Okay, so this intimates that the Lawrence was really the one pushing, which does kind of track with everything else, but it makes it clear. The schedule you sent me must be a template or the work of an intern, because it's patently insane. We're nowhere near hitting Lucian's proposed milestones. Branding's hopes and wishes won't magically change that, no matter what the corporate office says. My compound is months from viable, Lawrence. It kills people. If you'd like proof, you're welcome to try it yourself. I'll even show you where to stick it. I expect to see a revised schedule before the week is out. Cheers, Ollie. So this throws a lot more of the responsibility onto Lawrence. Although Lawrence was already harboring a huge amount of it, especially in their complaints against Clarence mostly. Yeah, I really would have thought we would have kind of a cinematic moment here or something. Hey, Fallout. I know you have the Vault Boy. I really like the Vault Boy. So, can I copy your work before we have to hand it in? Okay, but make it look different so it's not obvious. Ooh, another champion tossball stick. As well as a couple tossball cards. I really wish I could have a quest with Felix of just fetching him a bunch of tossball cards, because I know he's into them, I know they're collectibles, but they get marked as junk in the game.
Well, boss, this job just got interesting. I always wanted to say that.
I always wanted to be in a proper mystery.
Felix, you and I have broken into a jail and saved the world. And this is the one you're finding interesting for the first time? Felix, I love you. That's no Vault Boy. Clearly, that's a Vault Man.
If somebody's trying to stop you, that just means you're on the right track.
In games like this, literally the truth.
Communication tower on the way over here?
I sure hope that spooky person on the screen ain't waiting for us. I'm about ready to jump out of my skin as it is.
Take him down!
Down they go!
Uh-oh. There's a much larger one than I thought.
High time to shine!
Thank you for the drop kick, Felix.
You got it, Captain!
And body for the follow-up slam. I'm gonna leave you to finish that one off. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna leave that one to finish you off, I think. Ultimately how that one's gonna work out.
Here goes nothing.
That's interesting. So,
No hard feelings, okay?
the Shriekers stay in the distance. They don't really have any interest in getting up close and personal. The Sparkers and the Sentinels do. I wonder if the Shriekers are buffing. Because they all wanted to stay the hell away and just keep shouting. Didn't you reload save so he hasn't done that yet? Okay, yeah, this is technically true. A good point, well made. But we have done at least other interesting things with Felix. Felix has been a part of our party for a majority of the time, I want to say. Aha, you cannot hide your weapon parts and bid cartridges from me. Ah, dang. I was really hoping I was just going to find another secret there. I prefer to think that Felix has just incredibly high standards. And this is meeting those? Ooh. Felix. I think it's more that Felix, like, specifically is excited by things that are very, well, for lack of a better word, dramatic. Like, similar to the radio dramas that he is oft to listen to. So he doesn't really care about the kind of like day-to-day work of saving the world. He cares about the spooky manor. He cares about the masked man. He cares about all the points of intrigue, I guess. more so than anything else. Okay, more brew, something with those. Why am I doing all the looting here again? Gotta make sure there's nothing important here, I guess. I already said earlier in the stream I wasn't gonna be looting all the trash anymore. It's a bunch of omens to... Yeah, sure. Let's have a sleep for 8 hours there. Just get well rested. Hopefully Pavati and Felix found themselves somewhere comfortable in and amongst this area. Ooh. Is there possibly a reason to want to get up here? No. Okay, absolutely nothing accessible. So I'm just popping in, but is the DLC for this game any good? Fallout and Skyrim had DLC in their own thematics and new content. This just looks like a new area. I will say I haven't really experienced that many new mechanics yet. It doesn't ring extremely dissimilar to some of the Fallout expansions to me, though. Skyrim, I didn't interact with any of the DLC in, but this is kind of par for the course for the New Vegas DLCs, at least in my opinion. Save dead money. This, let's say it's like a big MT. It's an old world blues. Yeah, you able to pick up and drop things? Yes. If that helps you at all, Dead Man Walking. Sometimes jumping up on top of the terrain has actually rewarded us, which is why I'm so incentivized to continue trying to do it, despite the fact that it's not really paying off for us at all. Alright, let's just toss balls there. Okay, there was one way through the buildings that we wanted to explore. Okay, so you cannot deactivate mines by getting up close to them and just turning them off, as in other Fallouts. Other Fallouts. Just losing the guise of this being a completely different game. To be fair, I'm mentally comparing this to things like Dawn Garden, Far Harbor, or Nuka World, so maybe that's unfair. I mean, all of those are from games I either didn't play or didn't like. Why not a Fallout New Vegas playthrough on the channel? We are currently in the middle of a Fallout New Vegas playthrough for the stream. After I finish the Outer Worlds, I'm going to go back to playing Fallout New Vegas. I wonder if I should probably just restart that run, though. I don't know. We'll figure out what's happening at that time. Until then, though. Yeah.
I ain't think we're welcome here, Captain.
Laying down traps is one thing, but this is just rude.
Okay, so it looks like we're not going to encounter any more traps at this point. So probably can stop looking for those as much. Oh boy, is that a large monster? I did not see. Instead, I'm just going to sleep for another 8 hours while I'm trying to loot here. Just making sure I am super well rested. Level 30 plasma launcher. Oof. Sneak on a helmet, don't want that. Bowler business formal. Now,
We call them marauders, like they have some kind of group identity. They don't. The name was coined in Edgewater, I think. One of the towns first hit by the Adrenatime crisis. A lonely Spacer's Choice outpost on the edge of a barren sea. A prime place for the company to test a disastrous new product. When the town started fraying at the edges, hardly anyone else in the colony noticed. Just like Lucian planned. I read the reports. Every missing person. Every unexpected death. A town already teetering on the edge, and Adrenatime shoved it off a cliff.
It's good to finally get some direct confirmation of that being the giant downfall of that area.
When does man become Marauder? People talk about them as if they've transformed, like they've mutated. I see it in the Aetherwave broadcasts, read it in the papers. But beneath their masks, they're only people. Dangerous people with a terrible illness, but people still. When we call a man a marauder, have we given up on him? How do we know when he's become one? How can you decide to give up on someone? Have I given up on Harvey? Who does this suffering serve, I wonder? Spacer's choice?
By the way, just curious, as tangentive as this may be. Thank you. Love you. By the way, just curious, as tangentive as this may be, when Cybercomp comes out, what do you think you'll first try in terms of gradient scale of Hacker Man to Cyborg Tank? Honestly, it probably just depends on the things that I see in the worlds, the options I'm given in the creator. Did any patches, updates, or does this DLC diversify builds? I found a lot of useless skills when I first played. Yeah, you have the ability to respec on your ship. I think also some of the skills and perks were updated because I got refunded some perk points for some characters, which I imagine happened because their perk points were changed. Mr. Ouch. Ooh, power attack damage. Critical damage on a fun-time barrel. Okay, that could be important, especially if I end up finding the rifle that I am still looking for. Not pristine. Damn it. I need a pristine Vortex Mace Ultra. I need a pristine hunting rifle. That's it. I just found that sniping companion builds overpowered by a large margin. Sniping is definitely very powerful in this game. There is, there's a pretty good reason that I'm playing as a sniper.
Someone set up a little
I found
all the way up here. Wow.
Okay, at the very least we can jump out of that. Cool. I found melee builds okay in this game. They were very variable. I think like the melee builds kind of power spike at weird points. They all power spike after getting a new weapon, whereas the ranged builds tend to power spike after upgrading a weapon, and then you get to keep it along for a huge period of time. Science melee looks busted. It used to be. They heavily decreased the power of the fission hammer or something like that. But they decreased the power of the melee science weapons, or a melee science weapon, because it was way too busted. Maurice's research site. Okay, so I imagine that's not just this building, because if it is, that's a little bit too nothing to have a whole title card for the location. Okay. This isn't a weapon. Yeah, it's just a telescope. Good. So you have the ability to levitate using these panels. I wonder if that's going to be a mechanic that gets introduced later on. Ah, there we go. Eustace Kim's datapad. Morris, I've made my peace with the chemical waste pit. It is where I belong, I think, with the refuse and the dregs. The surface is distant to me, as distant as the cold stars, as distant as you are, and as the rest of them. How do you fare, Morris, up on your vaunted perch? When the shadow of the manufactory crown falls on you and your fine telescope, do you think of me down here in the dark? Do any of you? My isolation has borne fruit. Propane, butane, ethane. These wild gases visit me in my dreams. They shift and morph, compress and expand. Gas now, then liquid, then gas again. They whispered to me the trick of their metamorphosis, and I bottled it as they taught me. Come down to the shadow of the manufacturing, Morris. Down to the ravine. And they'll teach you the trick too. Let us at last compare the package that I might finally ascend. All glory to the PET, Eustace. Like the exhilarating adventures of Archibald Excelsior. The exhilarating adventures of Archibald Excelsior, Ace Exterminator, and the Plague of the Mountain Man. Issue 104. Oh, see, you go Southern accent for that character. I see how it is. That character was well spoken, and I chose the accent because of the name Eustace. I don't see Eustace in any other context than Courage, I guess. A comic from the cult classic Ace Exterminator series, tragically cancelled after its brief 4-issue run. Scribbled in felt tip on the comic's spine is the word speak. In the inaugural issue, newly minted hero Archibald Excelsior is dispatched to the cloud cities of Olympus to put down a plague of ravenous manting men, intent on taking the cities for their very own. Manta Mastermind pits his second in command, renowned Spindle Knight Sisak Sassafras, against Excelsior in hand-to-claw combat. Just when Excelsior seems to have bested his insectile foe with the help of his trusty PET, no context, his eye is caught by Isabelle Fame Fatale. Isabella Fame Fatale, Manti Mastermind's dancing queen. Will our mustachioed hero survive his brush with the Spindle Knight? And with love? Find out on this week's Archibald Excelsior. I mean, is that actually what we're up here for? This is probably going to be a named location. Sorry, it is a named location. It's probably going to be a location we return to in order to operate one of these devices, I imagine. Can I? Okay, yeah, there's a straight up barrier just preventing him from going over there. Perhaps DM's right? If not, that's a massive waste of time. That's kind of easy to say. I have DM'd exactly one shot. And I put in a ridiculous amount of work. I ended up writing like many pages because my my one shot was a haunted mansion kind of situation, but it was a haunted mansion with like plane traversal and like all of these seeds for the story that would turn up later, and I was working with two characters that I was told the characters and their kind of like ethos and relationship with each other before I designed the one shot, so I designed it with them in mind. It was really interesting and fun, but I wrote it like a flow chart, right? I didn't write it like, here are some beats that I might put in and then improvise between them. I wrote it like a flow chart, like if they do this, go here, if they do this, go here, if they do this, go here, and I accounted for everything that happened. And so many things that didn't. I know the cosmology of that world, and I've only ever run a one-shot in it. I know how that world was created and how it will be destroyed, and I only wrote a one-shot in it. I wrote a bunch of hooks for things that would be done in the future, and then ended the one-shot. Yeah, we can't go with that. So I think this is dead end for us at the moment, right? Yeah. Sounds like the logic in my first few Python programs. Exactly. Mine easily could have been run as a program. Like, mine could have been a text-based adventure. Easily. 100%. Like, because you get to locations, and then I had Vista described, and I had all the Vista description down. I also had this whole Delta rule, and the Delta rule was, it significantly complicated the amount that I was going to be writing. So my Delta rule was, because I like cursed, right? Cursed, sorry, unlucky. What's it called again? Cursed? Is it called cursed? The trait in Fallout 1, where you suffer more critical failures, but so do all of your enemies, right? And I like critical failures and I like critical successes. I like them on skill checks. I like them on attack rolls. I like them in general. I had a delta rule where basically if the DC was 15 and the delta was 5, that means if you rolled less than 10 total, so, 15, the DC minus the delta, if you rolled lower than that, you got a crit fail. And if you rolled a 1, you got a crit fail. Those were serious. Not lethal, but serious. For instance, the first crit fail resulted in Pete's character becoming colorblind, or realizing that he was colorblind, because he was rolling to read some text to perceive the color of something, or perceive the important information about a letter, which I had just described as having crimson text, and to him I described it as having emerald text. His character is colorblind now. He didn't get made colorblind by that, but because it wasn't decided already outside, I figured it was an easy thing that I got to play with. And then there was also the delta above, so you would have more crit successes, and then a crit success would do things in addition, like, again, possibly modifications to your character, things like that. I effectively just wanted 5 different levels, right? Pass, well, 6. Pass, fail, delta pass, crit success, crit fail. And because of that, anytime I had a vista to describe, and someone was attempting to perceive or investigate it, I had a table of all of the results written for, like, oh, here's the things that you learn if you have the crit success. Here's your delta success, here's your success, here's your fail, here's your crit fail, here's your delta fail. It was too much. It was way too much. If I went and polished the script on that a little bit, I may actually, like I may have been actually able to release it as, like, oh, here's a pre-written campaign for people to run if they'd like. The only problem is, like, so much of it is about the world, and I only wrote the one campaign. The whole idea was going to be that they were going to, like, hop between planes and hop between universes. That Rift Walkers was the eventual name of the campaign. But the whole idea was they were going to be hopping between a bunch of different universes, and each universe would be a different genre, right? So they started in a Victorian Gothic horror, right? And then I was going to move them into a comedy, right? It was going to be kind of like a broad kind of like general fantasy, kind of like low magic fantasy comedy. And then I was going to take them through, a cosmic horror. I was going to take them through all of these kind of different genres. But again, we got to the one shot. Hey, Thrillbo. Good to see you, friend. Actually, let's consult the broader map just in case. Right, so I'm being led across to there. Ah, right, I am going the wrong way around. I could just teleport back there. I think I will. I don't need to deep explore at the moment. Including Comedy, The Living Failures. Exactly, yeah. Bloodborne definitely had like a large inspiration on it. Layers of Fear had a large inspiration on it as well. The Layers of Fear soundtrack played for the first one, the mansion exploration. I also would have eventually ended up taking them to a sci-fi world. In general, I'll give you the super short version of the world. So there were 13 spirits, souls, entities, things that created the worlds as we know it, right? And each of them was an archetype, right? So there's the architect, the biologist. There's the child, the devil, the angel, right? All of these they're referred to as aspects, right? The aspect of the angel, the aspect of the devil, those kinds of things. All of them worked together to create all of the planes and all of the universes. However, they realized the only thing that presented a threat to the continued existence of those is the power that they themselves manifested. So they all voluntarily went into decline. However, they also left fail-safes in the world, just in case. Just in case something happens, and they need to come back. Something happened, and the aspect of the devil got loose. the aspect of the devil is not necessarily evil as well. The aspect of the devil actually has a virtuous quest they are trying to fulfill. However, in the fulfillment of that quest, they are endangering the universe. And then eventually, as they were hopping between all of these different universes, there was gonna always be like think of like the Italian commedia dell'arte, right? These kind of like caricatures that exist in all of these different plays, right? Arlecchino is always going to be the Servant of Two Masters, is always going to be an acrobatic, is always going to be usually in love with the daughter of Il Dottore, right? You've got all of these kind of like things that are put upon this character by the archetype that they exist in. So in all of these different universes, there would be the aspects. Because going into decline for them meant splitting themselves into infinite different pieces and spreading themselves across all of the universes that they had created. So, for instance, one of the aspects is the merchant, right? And in every town that they ever went to after dimension hopping, they were going to encounter a merchant named James, an automaton, right? And James stood for something that I can't remember at the point, but James was going to be the automaton. And in every town, he would not recognize them every single time because it's not the same person, but it is a shard of the original same person. And then in the climax, they were going to have the ability to, you know, reform parts of the shards of all of these different people. But the yeah, exactly. Sorry about this short version not being short, but the aspect of the devil, accidentally or not accidentally, that's left up a little at the moment in the air. But two of the shards of the aspect of the devil met, and they started to realize their power, and so they started to go around the galaxy getting more of their power back. Okay. It was gonna be real fun. All the cool stuff I do in D&D, no one ever gets to see. Like all of the lore behind my previous two characters. Like, there's really interesting stuff there. Unfortunately, one campaign ended and then the other character died. The other character is also secretly the first character from the first campaign, but I can't say it loud because Peek is around and Peek doesn't know that.
I've been waiting for this.
Up, 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 up. You can do it, bud. Nice try.
Want some of this? Boss.
It's so cool if you have decided to run that, like, patched up. I'm so enamored with the idea that I think it is just going to be something that I gestate and eventually end up running again as a campaign, but the amount of commitment and work that a campaign takes is not necessarily something that I can match at this point in my life. So I would definitely need an opportune scenario. Wait, the guy you were talking about the person I was talking about last stream, both Leeloff and Bear are non-binary. And yeah, dead. Just dead. Brain got 8. Hard to live through that. I mean, the map is in the other direction. Do I even really need to go into this facility yet? I think I'm doing a lot of like going way too far away from where I should be going right now. And the game is going to direct me to those other areas, especially if they're larger facilities, so we can just deal with that later. That's okay, Chimera Draco. If it helps, the session that character died in, everyone was like, "Oh no, he's gonna die! Oh no, he, him, he, that guy, he, him, them, man." I'm like, every single time, just like they, them, that, they, them, person. It's not like the players were like intentionally doing it. It's just they kept forgetting. Directory, locate facility staff. Hey, Clarence Mosley is in the Byzantium Musgrave collection. Okay, I thought Mosley might still be alive. All right, read the most recent log. Quitting time. We've been through a lot. Done that voice. We've been through a lot together, old friend, but they just blasted out the evacuation order. Guess that's the end of Gorgon. For the record, you're my favorite comms tower in the whole system. I'll never forget you. Love, Technician number 3, junior grade. Well, shit. Fancy seeing me here. The last shuttle left a few of us in its dust. Never seen anyone lift off in such a hurry. We scattered like roaches. It's every man and woman for themselves now. You're still up and running, I see. Looks like only one employee left their tracker flipped on. What a rube. Signing off. For good this time. You take care of yourself, Comstown. Don't forget to stand up straight like I taught you. Best, Technician number 13, junior grade. So Clarence Mosley was in Byzantium. Is that what we just got told? Clarence Mosley was in Byzantium. So do we actually need to go to Byzantium to find him? Is it not going to give me like a note for it or something? Hello? Hello? A log. Okay, it doesn't even come into the logs. Okay, I guess that'll just be information that we get given later. Again, if they actually want us to utilize it. Put my weapon away as well, just in case. Is this the main quest? I do not know. I mean, Clarence Mosley is a very, very important integral character in... Okay, that has to be actually what we were trying to get from this area. Yeah, Musgrave Family Collection. Cool. I think this is the main storyline at the moment. I think I'll follow this through to its next completion, and then I'm going to swap to some of the side quests. Okay, actually, we should also probably look at the map and see if we have any close to teleport. Oh, we do! Yeah, okay, so it's actually telling us to go back to the ship so we can go to Byzantium. Well, then I think what I'll do is actually swap up my quests here and start going for the side quests. So we got 504 in that direction, 645 in that, 130. Okay, this one's easiest. Exploring side quests are half the fun in these games. I legitimately believe that exploring side quests is more than half of the fun in these games. Because, like, the main quest storyline is laboring under so many different things that it has to do, whereas side quests get to be unique and interesting in a way the main storylines of games like this don't necessarily get to be. Not that the main storyline isn't interesting, it's just side quests get to be a lot more experimental. No, you're not. This is the kind of game where I like to wander around aimlessly. Honestly, in my own time, I also enjoy that. However, wanting to make sure that the pace is not extremely slow, despite the fact that I also take so many sidebars in order to talk about everything that is not the game for way too long. I say way too long, not necessarily way too long. I don't mean to be depreciated about that. It's more that in order to try and maintain the pace of the game for the sake of content as well, I have to fight a little against those urges. Because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't have completed any quests yet. This planet looks great, Flovid. Agreed. 100% agreed. Okay. HIA passkey needed. We haven't really raided the... Oh! I didn't know any of you were still alive. Stop interrupting my looting. Actually, that was a crack shot. I need to look at your corpse just in case you have a pristine weapon for me. Huh? Where'd the crack shot die? Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. You had no weapon. You were about to crack shot me from a range with blowing me a kiss? I don't know. Completely unarmed, apparently. Okay, well, if we can't access that one, what's the next cab off of the rank? Let's see, exterior upper. I'm him, and I very rarely play male characters to the point that my D&D friends sometimes slip up and call me she, her out of game. Yeah. Justin McElroy put it really well for the start of their set. I mean, we've already killed those before and we don't need to. Justin McElroy put it really well, I think, for the start of their second arc. And that's... I've been, in his case, a straight white guy for my whole life. Do I gotta be that in a game? Obviously, then come in issues of like authentic representation versus non-authentic representation. That's a completely different discussion by itself. But I don't necessarily love playing characters that completely align with my personage. I mean, we're gonna have to go through this anyway. Get him. And then gotta make sure I'm ready on B as well. So I'm down. Wanna hear something cute I'm going to do tomorrow? Sure. What is it, Camaro Draco? Hey, you two should be able to take out the sparklers by yourselves. Good work, Felix.
Everyone all right?
All right. Yeah, we're all good. Oh, so it's exactly this area, the one that I refused to explore previously. Should've just done it. For my school vocational training, I get to go out and help train therapy dog puppies. That is awesome. That is incredible. How do you train therapy dog puppies? Currently, I'm working with this chubby little baby lab named Buddy, and he's the sweetest little chubby buddy. I'll bet. That is lovely. I am deeply envious, I have to say, but oh my god. I can get a pic of him posted on Discord tomorrow. Please do. Please 100% do. The Good Dogs channel is exactly for this kind of thing. Although I will also say Good Dogs as a channel is for any animal. But for the sake of that channel, they will be considered dogs. For simplicity. Alright.
Dr. Ambrose, tell me about Adrenatime. What does it do?
Hasn't Clarence already dumped a pile of promotional materials on your head?
Where's the fun in that? My listeners want to hear it in your own words.
It's an injectable drug that improves a patient's speed, awareness, mental acuity, and endurance. In moderation, Adrenatime will uplift the laboring classes by strengthening their minds and work ethic.
That's quite the mission. What's driving this vision of uplift?
I am a solutions-oriented woman. I see a problem and I am moved to solve it. Poverty is one such problem. Through science, I believe we can improve the poor, and in so doing, improve Halcyon.
Okay, so two different things are at play there. Number one, that's a bit eugenic. See, number two. And the number two, I think, is far more important here. Is that I think that introduces a motivation for someone to purposefully sabotage the Adrenatime experiment. in order to prevent the lower classes
Where are we headed?
from being lifted up through poverty. This kind of system requires an underclass. They say in Rapture, that's in Rapture, sorry, in Bioshock 1, that everyone comes to Rapture thinking they're going to be the next big scientist or genius or artist. They all forget someone has to scrub the toilets. Everything is a dog if you think about it in a certain way, and I do. Everything is just a dog by a different name. You know how, like, German calls, like pretty much everything is like a version of a pig, like a seal is a water pig, and they're compound words in the way that works that, right? Effectively, I just consider everything to be compound dog. This is just a table dog, upon which I have my PC dog and my monitor's dog. But, you know, the dog is always assumed, so you can always just cut it out from the end of the sentence. Saves time, you know. Okay, nothing else we need here. I'm obliged to continue exploring the rest of this facility while I'm here, though. Oh, we did it. Nothing to the rest of the facility. Impact Hammer Mark II, still not good. We only want Vortex Mates Ultra. Impact Mark II is real. I have lost the ability to move. I didn't really see it as uplifting poor people out of poverty. To me, it read more as make the poor a better resource. It did near the very end, but near the start, in particular, it seems like a misguided attempt to do that. Okay, so both of those are so far away that we should just have the ability to teleport closer to one of them. This is actually my closest teleport point to this electric fling. This is very deep in facilities that I haven't already discovered, so like I would be going through a bunch of things. Not super keen on doing that just yet. HIA though, I don't have the ability to access HIA yet. But do I have the ability to go in through the rear? Everything in the universe either is or isn't a potato. Exactly. Or is or isn't an apple. Pomme de terre is a dirt apple. Good example of the same previous thing. Sealed.